Hey guys, welcome to my channel or whatnot. This is my first video, kinda. I don't know. I guess it is. But basically, I'm not gonna do a long intro or whatnot because no one likes that. But I'm basically just gonna do a little glowy skin tutorial because a bunch of y'all on Twitter were asking me and stuff. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll just make a video because y'all been asking me to make a YouTube video. So here it is, finally here. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started. So to start, we're gonna start with our moisturizers. That's honestly like the key part to this routine, because if you don't have a good moisturizer, then your face is gonna look matte or not as shiny as it needs to be for this. So usually I use this like really good moisturizer, but I don't have it at the moment because our car got broken into and a bunch of my stuff got stolen, including my makeup. So honestly, this routine, I had to switch it like a little bit around, like not too long ago, like last week, to kind of get a new routine, I guess you could say, because my stuff is gone, my usual stuff. But anyways, for now, I'm going to be using the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Pink Juice Moisturizer. It's honestly like a trial size from Sephora or whatever, but okay. Basically just gonna put that everywhere. It just dripped on me, yay. Okay, this smells really good though. It smells like a watermelon Jolly Rancher. This honestly isn't the type of moisturizer that I usually use. I usually use a really thick moisturizer. My voice. But I don't have it. So we're just gonna make do. Alright, after that I'm gonna put another moisturizer on. Y'all are probably like, what? Another one? Yeah. Because my face is really dry. And this is the Clinique Moisture Surge. It's actually really good. But it's kind of thin. But it's not that bad. Also, if you have oily skin, you don't necessarily have to do this. You can change anything that you want to work with your skin. So now, okay. So now we have a pretty glowy base, I guess you could say. But it honestly isn't as glowy as I would like it to be. So I'm gonna go in with this glow stick from Supergoop. I guess that's the brand. I don't know. I found it at Sephora. It's actually really good, and it has sunscreen in it. It basically is like a sunscreen tube, I guess you could say. But I'm just gonna put it on the high points of my face. Not really high points, just on my cheekbones, I guess. Yeah. And then after that, I'm just gonna tap it, rub it in. Like so. Then for the next step, I'm gonna take this MAC Fix Plus Gold Light. It kind of looks horrible. Let me shake it up. And just spritz that all over my face to give it even more of a glow. Okay. So now we're gonna let that dry, but while we let that dry, I'm going to start with my brows. Not really do my brows. I mean, I guess you could say. Okay, usually I use like brow gels to set my brows, but all of my brow gels got stolen, so we're just making do right now, basically. So I've been using Soap Brow. I've tried this before, like not too long ago, and it really didn't work that well for me personally, but I like retried it and I don't think I was doing it right, and it actually works like really good. So I recommend if you don't have a brow gel, and this is like really cheap. I found this soap at like Walmart for like $2 or $3, but make sure it's like clear or transparent-ish, just not like white or blue or anything like that, because it'll make your brows look weird. So to start, I'm basically just taking some water. This is not rose water, this is just water, and I'm gonna spray it onto the soap, and then I like to spray a little bit onto the spoolie. And if y'all are wondering, this is just the spoolie from the Anastasia eyebrow brush. I don't know which one it is. It's completely gone, but yeah, my spoolie looks gross, but it's also kind of old. Okay, so now you're gonna want to let this set for like maybe like 30 seconds and let it thicken. Then once you've let it set in, you're basically just gonna get your spoolie and go around in circular motions into it until it creates like a paste almost, and you'll see because it'll start to like get thick. And then after that, you're gonna want to brush it off until it creates like a little mound, I guess you can see all those, and then get a little bit onto the spoolie. And then basically, not everyone likes this, but this is personally how I like my eyebrows. You don't have to do this, but this is just how I like them, and I think it just makes them look fuller and fluffy, thicker, and it looks really nice. So basically, I'm just gonna start brushing them up, starting from the front, and really just get the product in there a lot. And brush it all the way to the end of your brow, like so. All right, once your brows are brushed up like so, and they look all full and fluffy, make sure also when you do it, like there's no clumps of hair stuck together. They're all brushed through evenly like so. If you can tell, every little hair is individually. After that, you're gonna want to start with some foundation. You're not gonna wanna wear a lot of foundation for this, so just a little bit. I'm using the Makeup Forever HD foundation stick. This is the shade Y325. It's honestly a little bit not my shade, but that's okay. Also for this, I'm not gonna be priming because this is usually what I do if I'm like in a rush or just going somewhere really quick. I don't really prime. I don't feel like there's a need to because I don't really put a lot of makeup in this region. So I'm just gonna start to put a little bit on, like so. Also, if you have any problem areas, you can definitely have more coverage right there or spot conceal later. So then I'm gonna take my Morphe M425 brush, I think it is, I don't know, the name's worn off, and just buff that in. You can use a beauty blender if you want, but this just is really fast, and sometimes I don't feel like getting my beauty blender wet because I'm in a rush. Also, if you mess up your eyebrows, don't worry, you can comb them, spoolie them back up once you're done with your base. Once you've blended out your base, you're gonna want to take your concealer. I'm using the Tarte Shade Tape. I never use this concealer. I don't really like it, but my other concealer got stolen. The Too Faced Born This Way concealer, that one's actually really good. This one I don't really like, but it's gonna have to work for now. So basically what I'm gonna do is just put a tiny little dot of this onto the back of my hand, like so. You don't want to use a lot of this because this is like a no makeup look, I guess you could say. And just dab it with your finger. And then put a little bit onto your under eyes. You can use a beauty blender if you want to blend this out, but this is just really quick, so I'm just using my finger and tapping it underneath my eye. And it's going to give you the perfect amount of coverage, but not too much. But it definitely will give you a highlighted, not really highlighted, but it's going to cover up your circles just to make it look bright. Also, when you do that, do not use like a super bright concealer. Use one that's like either the same color as your foundation or a little bit lighter, but not too light than your foundation. And also, I'm not really putting like a bunch of product on my nose because that really makes it look like you have makeup on. And if you just let your natural freckles and other skin, whatever, shine through or whatnot. Okay, for bronzer, I'm not using powders. That's the key thing to this. Do not use like, sorry, the lighting was horrible. Do not use like powders for this because that really makes your face look matte or less dewy. But if you do need to powder, I would only do it in your T-zone area or under your eyes or on your chin if you need to. I wouldn't try to powder your cheeks unless you get like super oily there, then you can do that. But for this, I personally don't use any powders because my face is really dry as it is anyway, so yeah. Okay, so I'm taking this Makeup Revolution. It's honestly a foundation stick, but it's really good. This is in the shade F14. And then I'm taking the Morphe G36 brush. I honestly don't even know if they have this anymore, but then I take this brush and I just tap it onto the brush, and then I'm just dabbing it onto my cheeks. And it looks really dark right now, just wait though. And then keep tapping it in and blending, and it really blends just like so easily. And it gives you just such a nice color. All right, once you've done that onto your cheekbones on both sides, I'm just doing the same thing onto my forehead because my forehead's pretty big if you can't tell. And I'm just dabbing that on there. Honestly, that's kind of a lot, but it's fine. It blends out, so do the same thing to the other side of your forehead. Honestly, you can never see this part of my forehead, but
I'm not quite sure what went wrong.
okay, Alexa. I didn't say Alexa, but alright. She's stupid. Anyways, this foundation shade is not my shade if you can tell. Not really. So now, if you can't tell, my eyebrows are brushed down now because I was blending out. So you can literally just brush them right back up, but do not put any more product onto it because if you get that soap onto your foundation, it will not mix good together and it'll look weird. So just brush them back up. That's also why I do my eyebrows first if I'm using the gel, just so that soap doesn't get onto my foundation and look crusty. Now at this part, you can fill in your eyebrows if you want to, or use an eyebrow gel, whatever. I typically would just use an eyebrow gel, or just use like powder to fill them in, not like precisely or like super defined. But if that's how you want your eyebrows, then that's totally fine, but I personally don't. And I'm also not doing it today because I don't have my eyebrow gel. It got stolen. But yeah, whatever. So now we're moving on to blush. I wear a lot of blush, if you can't tell. I just think it really gives your face a nice flush of color and makes it look like you're alive, I guess. I don't know. So for blush, usually I use the Milk Lip and Cheek Tint in the shade Perk. That one's actually really good, and it like really gives you like a dew, but like also blush at the same time, but it's not super pigmented, so I usually like layer it with a powder blush on top. And I know I didn't say use powders earlier, but for this, powder blush is like the only part that I really do powder on my face, or maybe like highlighter. But for blush, I'm gonna start with the Tarte blush in the shade Captivating, I think. The 24-hour Amazonian Clay, I think. Sorry, 12-hour Amazonian Clay. And I'm taking it on this Morphe brush. I don't know which one it is. It's from like a collection, but it's just like this, like a angled brush or whatnot. And I'm really just tapping into it like, okay. So then I kind of do this, smile, like that, and just start tapping onto my cheeks. This blush, honestly, is like not really pigmented, so that's why I'm using other ones. And typically I wouldn't use like a peachy blush, but the one that I usually use is gone, so we are today. I really just like red blushes recently. I don't know why, but I just think it looks really pretty. Also, when you're doing this, make sure you blend it like up onto your temples like so, and it just really like makes it look more natural, I guess you could say. And just put like a tap on the nose. And then after that, I'm going to take the Wet n Wild. This one's actually really good. It's from the drugstore. Wet n Wild, yes, in the shade Pearlescent Pink, and it has like, I don't know if y'all can tell, but it has like little gold reflex in it. It's really pretty. It's actually really good too. And then I'm taking this on the Morphe M510 brush and just swirling around in there a lot. And then I'm doing the same thing, but this time I'm gonna focus it more on this area, not really like right here on the apples of my cheeks. And it really just gives you a nice color. Like, look at that, it's really pretty. And then with the excess, I'll put it onto my apples of my cheeks. And then again, on the tip of my nose. So then after that, I'm gonna go back in with my foundation brush and just make sure all of this is blended, and so it doesn't look like a really harsh line really. And then also I tend to do it underneath my eyes too, because sometimes it'll look really light and then that harsh blush, and it's not cute. After that, I'm gonna do the highlighter. This is honestly the key step to this, which is really just gonna make it look dewy. So for this, I'm using the, it looks horrible right there. It's because it keeps falling out the pan, but whatever. This is the Stila Heaven's Hue highlighter. It's like those putty ones. This is in the shade Kitten. It's just really nice. I don't know, it's putty, but I'm taking this on a Morphe brush. I don't really know which one it is. It's just from one of those collections again, but it's just really dense and tiny, and I just swirl it around in here. Usually I use the Jeffree Star Supreme Frost in the shade Diamond Wet, I think, from the Jawbreaker collection, but it got stolen just like all my other stuff, so yeah. But this one's actually really good, and it gives you just like a natural glow. It's not like too sparkly. The Jeffree one is like really sparkly, so if you don't like that, then you don't have to use that. But honestly, I just think this one works really good, and I never realized how blinding it is, but it's actually really good. So I'm just swirling it around in the product, and then basically going in circular motions onto my face. And what is really gonna make your face dewy is just literally just swirl it around like everywhere. Bring it onto your apples of your cheeks right here too, and just everywhere, onto your temples, and then blend it onto your brow bone area. It really is just gonna give you that dew, if you can't tell. Like, look at that bitch. And then onto my nose, and then also on the sides of your nose right here, it really reflects light like really well right there. And then for my forehead, I just kind of dust it like everywhere, I guess. Not too much though, and it really just looks natural and dewy a little bit on your cupid's bow. Now, that's basically all I do for my base. And also, I didn't put anything on my lids, if you can't tell. That just also makes your face look no makeup, I guess you could say. So then to finish off, I'm going to take the Mario Badescu spray. This is the orange one. Then you have this gorgeous dew. Basically, that's it for the tutorial. You can definitely change any part of this if you want, according to your skin type, skin tone, whatever. If you don't like this much blush, you can definitely dim it down, because I know not everybody likes this much blush, but this is just personally what I do. So here's the look. Like, look at that. Like, what? But yes, that's the finished look. Thank y'all for watching. This was actually really fun making this video. This setup that I have right here is so ghetto, like, I don't know, but this is just gonna be the setup for now. And I try to add like a little backdrop or whatnot, but whatever. It wasn't really working out. If you can't tell, you can literally see my tapestry right there, but that's fine. But I definitely wouldn't mind making more videos for y'all if y'all would like. So if y'all want to see more, just request, I don't know, comment down below what y'all want to see from me. Any more makeup videos, clothes, whatever, anything like that, I definitely wouldn't mind making. Oh, also that moisturizer that I was talking about in the beginning, that's honestly like the key step to this, but I don't have that, but I will definitely link it down below if I can find it, because I don't know exactly which one it is, but I'll try to find it and link it down below for y'all. But anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment down below video ideas or whatever, or what you thought of this. And yeah, thank y'all for watching. Bye.